peak. Let's kick it.
All right. This is your host for Around the Rotary podcast. I'm JP Warren, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. And we're actually doing this on a Monday, April 19th, a couple days for my birthday. I'm sure y'all know that. And before we begin, I got to say that Around the Rotary podcast is brought to you by Capital Petroleum Consultants. CPC specializes in project engineering and well site supervision in all disciplines of the oil and gas industry. Contact us through www.capitalpetroleumconsultants.com to see what CPC can do for you today. And I know everyone's sitting out there wondering why, after the intro music, we were playing that great hit from, was it the late 90s, middle 90s? Early 90s.
We'll call it early 90s.
Yeah, I think it was early 90s. Yeah, Ice Baby. And the reason we're doing that is we got two good friends of mine sitting here, two directional gurus, hustlers, pushers, and then also we got the founders and the slingers of Heights Ice Baby, which is a local snow cone stand that's been operating. I mean, we're going to get into all this stuff, but I mean, it's primarily focused in the Heights area and the Heights community. Is that correct?
Yeah, the premier shaved ice
the
truck.
Number one shaved ice truck. You can say it. It's okay.
We like to think so. We're still a few Yelp reviews away from climbing that ladder. But
well, maybe through this today we can get the listeners on and leave some positive reviews and follow you on Instagram. So that being said, for those of you that don't know that voice right there, you actually might recognize that voice from over a year ago. We had Shayne Schurr on the podcast, and that's during COVID.
Yes, it has been a year, and now we're in person versus we did that first one virtual.
Which one do you like better? Virtual, probably, away from me?
No, I like being able to see you.
That's my man right there. So we got Shayne Schurr right there, who's the sales manager at MS Directional, and who's also one of the co-founders of, is it co-founder of?
Yeah, co-founder.
Co-founder, okay, I dig that.
Depends on what we're discussing, but yeah, sure. I'll claim 50% ownership as long as we're not in trouble.
Okay, and then just walk away if y'all are.
It's on Seth if we are.
If the ice melts. And sitting to his right, my left, is Seth Hill, the executive account manager at MS Directional. Very important executive part.
Don't forget the executive.
I'm not going to forget the executive. I mean, if I got that promotion, that's what I'd be leading with all the time. And he's also the co-founder of Heights Ice Baby. And guys, thanks for coming in today. I know all of our schedules are kind of weird during the weeks lately, just when things opening up, things getting a little bit more busy, people taking lunches and all that stuff. So honestly, guys, thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Are you happy to be here, Shayne?
I'm ecstatic.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, guys, honestly, I know that before, I mean, honestly, like I kind of want, the whole point of this is to bring y'all in because I think what y'all are doing, and I've seen the community response and on the just the audience that y'all are reaching through y'all's side hustle or this passion project y'all started, and I kind of just want to talk about that today. I mean, we've had people on before that talk about, when times got slow, they started, Riley Norris pushing, Socorro tequila and Bolton barreled lubricant. We had J.D. Smith doing coffee, Marshall Brown doing coffee. Like there was a lot of, I feel like it was a renaissance during this COVID quarantine, whatever you want to call it, where people actually, okay, well, I got some time on my hands. I'm not really seeing us as customers as we wanted to, so I'm going to try to do something new. And this is kind of a really cool and successful story, and I'm so glad that y'all are here, and I want to talk about this today. So for those looking to get some insights on directional motors and all that stuff, first off, you're tuning in the wrong podcast ever. Second off, we're talking snow cones, baby. That's what we're talking about. That's why I led off with vanilla ice.
Yeah.
Ice, baby.
Well, that's the thing, right, is we love talking directional. We love, discussing what the oil and gas brings to us every, day in, day out. But the snow cone stand has been a ton of fun. And I'll let kind of Seth discuss where that started, where it came from, and kind of we'll both touch on where it's gone. But that stand has allowed us to talk both, right? And we talked directional at the snow cone stand. We saw people, great customers came out, brought the kids when we first got this thing going, and have continued to be loyal customers. So it's really been just kind of a double dip for us, which has been exciting.
And then what you could do also, if those kids are, the customers' kids and they want to get in the oil and gas industry, you start them young. So that's a long con. You know what I mean? Get some brand loyalty for MS when they're like 6 years old. And then once, that's added benefit.
These kids are learning more than I ever learned. Talking to Sari's young girl who's 6.
Lizzie?
Yeah. She was telling me, she came by the snow cone stand and taught me economics and what a consumer is versus a producer and all that. So they're teaching them pretty young these days, which is could be bad for us.
Well, guys, first off, I mean, the fact that y'all work together at MS Directional, and then the fact that y'all kind of split off and did a little side passion project right now. I want to start from the beginning. I want to start from the origin. What's y'all's origin story? Like, how did y'all meet? Like, where'd y'all hit it off, and y'all just go?
Yeah, so actually, Shayne and I had mutual friends in college. So, Bailey Radley and Amy Duffel are two good friends of mine that I graduated high school with. They were in, mutual.
Where'd you graduate high school?
I grew up in Sour Lake, a little town outside of Beaumont.
Okay.
So I went to Hardin-Jefferson High School.
All right.
Yeah, good old HJ. That's my alma mater.
That's where my dad's side of the family's from Beaumont.
Yeah. Enjoyed growing up there. We went over to A&M. And, I'd always seen Shayne around. And because we had mutual friends. But to be honest with you, I think we became good friends, when we all turned kind of 21, and I was bartending at the local bar.
Which bar were you bartending at?
I was bartending at Fitzwilly's Bar and Grill on Northgate.
I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
Visit my old professor, Dr. G, in the afternoon, just hang out there.
There you go. I mean, it's no longer there now. I think it's referred to as the backyard at Northgate.
Yeah.
But no, that was, I ran that bar for, the better part of 5 years while I was in college.
Okay.
I took a bit of a victory lap. And, no, Shayne and I became close friends because, him and his friends would always come in there. And then we kind of slowly just, became better friends over the years. And then, about 2014 rolled around, and I was living over in Austin.
Okay. What were you doing there?
I was actually in the insurance business. I was selling some insurance. And
how was that?
It was okay, but it wasn't, it's not really what I wanted to do long term. And I kind of knew that. It was kind of a stepping stone to bigger and better things. And at that point, as we can remember in 2014, oil and gas was booming. Those were the good old days. So
that was the last boom we had.
Yeah.
The last boom, yeah.
We've had faux booms where you think things are back to normal, but it's not a boom.
We might be sitting in one right now.
Maybe.
Getting close.
Maybe. I think so.
So in 2014, I'm going through, I don't even know if LinkedIn was around back in 2014, but I'm going through, my network of people. And, I kind of had an idea that I wanted to get into the oil field. So, I called Shayne and I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting into the oil and gas industry. What does your company do? Is there any way that, y'all might have any openings?
So did y'all stay in touch after college?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. And
okay.
And that's what I was going to say. Seth was paying his way through school, right, working at Fitzwilly's. When I would come off the rig when I was running MWD, College Station was the cheapest place to drink, right?
It still is.
It's fantastic.
You can literally go in there for like $20 and like get bottle service and like party all night, and you walk home with like $13 left.
Yeah, and nothing against my friends, but I had plenty that were still in school, right? So the only way for me to get them out, running MWD on your schedule, you're going into town on Tuesday through Thursday. You don't know. You're not really getting the weekends.
Right.
So I'd burn in and say, hey, I got the tabs. Let's go out. But if we're going to do that, we're going out in College Station, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not doing that in Dallas. I'm not doing that in Houston. So, I was coming in, running MWD, chatting with Seth while he was close to graduation. And so I think that kind of helped build that friendship and gave him a little insight. All right, well, this guy's got a shit schedule, but he's also able to have fun when he's off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we talked on MWD, when he called me, it was just one of those like, hey, you're the type of guy that I know is going to dive in head first, go wherever we need you to go, and you're not going to put anything bad on my name being out there, right? He's a hustler. So it was a pretty easy pitch from my side to our MWD department, and that's where he started.
So pretty much, I mean, this is kind of an interesting point. I mean, I kind of want to not dive into, I don't want to discuss, but like pretty much so y'all were friends. This honestly ties back to networking, right? So no oil field experience. No, you're selling insurance and all stuff, but the fact that, so you looked at his qualifications, not his qualifications, but like his just drive. His drive is willing to jump in, is willing to talk to people, just his attitude and motivation over his technical knowledge or anything like that. And that's like, okay, I'm gonna put my name behind this guy.
Yeah, and I'll start with that. Like, they taught me how to run MWD, right? When I jumped out in the field not knowing anything. So
right.
You could basically teach a trained monkey how to do that, right? So
Smart trained monkey.
Yeah, and that's why we'll touch on the snow cone stand. My running joke's been like I have zero tangible skills, right? But now I have one. I can shave ice. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I mean,
but not pour the sauce. The syrup.
That's the pour.
Okay, you're the shaver, you're just pour.
We've all got our strengths.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's a former bartender, right? So like his pour is perfect. Why would I mess with
does
that?
the bottle flip, cocktails and dreams. So he called you and just asking what y'all did. And so you're like, okay, I want this guy part of my team. I know his drive. I know his work ethic. So regardless, I mean, he's gonna do well.
Yeah, and that's been the baseline of our friendship, since he came out of the field and works for me now in Houston. It was the same kind of scenario. It's like you don't have to question someone's work ethic. It makes it a lot easier to jump in and kind of get into business with them.
So I'm sure there's this might be another podcast, some good stories from Shayne coming in from the field Tuesdays and Thursdays while you're working at the bar. But we're not doing that right now. This is a family podcast, okay, right now.
We could do an entire series of that.
Yeah, that is where I learned about rejection, though. So trained me to sell directional. Coming in those nights,
you learned the words that get away from me, buddy.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah,
no,
back then.
it's okay. I don't need your services here.
So tell me about y'all been working together for what is that, 6-7 years now?
Yeah, I've been with MS for a little over 7 years now.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And 3 now in Houston sales. So directly, and so Seth was starting on the field right about the time I was coming out of the field.
Okay, so y'all just kind of just cross paths and all that stuff. So then when did you get? So you've been in cities in corporate sales for about 3 years now.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Since 2017.
So guys, let's talk about the juice, the syrup of this, the sweetness of this conversation right now. Tell me about where did this idea come from, and kind of what spurned it, what motivated? And Shayne, you and I were talking about this before that you can have the best ideas out there. It doesn't matter how many good ideas, it's the execution that sets you apart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That
making the jump, right? Taking the risk,
jump.
and I'll let Seth this was his brainchild.
Give me the backstory on this, guys. We got time.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've always wanted one.
Did you really?
I've always wanted to own a snow cone stand. And the reason being is because growing up in Beaumont, there was one right off of Highway 90 at a driving range called Games People Play. I don't remember the name of the snow cone stand, but it was always busy. It was a little hut with a drive-through, and you couldn't drive by it in the summer where there wasn't 10 cars in line.
Okay.
I went over to College Station, and in Bryan, there's a snow cone spot called JJ's, and it is, again, 20 people in line all summer long.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what time of the day you go. When I was living over in Austin, we had one in North Austin that was, by the apartment complex that my girlfriend Sydney lived in. We would go there on hot days, just kind of pass the time, and it was always busy. And I thought to myself, there's no way these people aren't making money.
Right.
It's just it's ice and syrup, and they're packed all the time. And I just thought it would always be a cool and a fun business to be in. I've always had a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit to me. I've opened a couple other small businesses along the way, so it's always kind of been in the back of my mind.
Okay. All right.
And so fast forward to probably about March of last year.
March 2020. So this is
this is the height of quarantine.
This is kind of when people started realizing, okay, well, this is serious. We need to shut everything down. So this is March 2020.
Yeah. So this was March, late March, early. Well, I guess it was probably
April. Yeah, it was late April, I think.
Okay.
This was late April, and things are closed. Bars are closed. Restaurants are closed. The only thing open are the grocery stores at this point.
Right.
And me and Sydney have been sitting at the house for about 2 weeks, and we're going pretty stir crazy. And at the time, we were actually on the keto diet, so we were doing low sugar.
Right.
So we were looking kind of for an excuse to get out of the house, and I told Sydney, hey, I know snow cone places often have sugar-free options. Let's go get a sugar-free snow cone. So, we had only been living in the Heights now for 6 or 7 months. Didn't really know of any snow cone places. I pulled out my phone, used the old trusted Google app.
Yep.
There was 3 snow cone places listed in the Heights. We went to the first one, and it was closed. And not because of COVID. It had been closed for like 2 years.
Was it brick and mortar?
The first one was called Mams, and it was a brick and mortar establishment, and it had been closed for a while. So we went to the second one, and it was a mobile spot, but it had been closed, and it was no longer there.
Okay.
Same thing, not because of COVID, just was closed for one reason or another.
Okay.
So we were only left with one. We went to the third place. It was closed as well. So I looked at the map, And I literally put, I'll pull.
One person might see 3 failed businesses and go, probably shouldn't do this.
I was going to say,
Seth.
I was going to say that's an opportunity.
Yeah,
that's an opportunity. 3 closed down. Okay.
That's it. So, I pulled the map open, and I think the closest snow cone stand was like in Bel Air. I was like, you telling me there's not a snow cone place anywhere in the Heights area or North Houston? I mean, you got to go way north of 610 or, like I said, all the way to Bel Air.
And living in the Heights, I mean, you're not going to get on 610. I mean, to go grab a quick snow cone, you're going to probably substitute that for another cold treat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was, the idea was just kind of festering in my head at that point, the whole drive home. I was defeated. We didn't get a snow cone.
Defeated. I love that. That's like my daughter, Evelyn, when she doesn't get her design. I'm defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a feeling of a little defeated, but it was
Sadness.
also like, how? There's always been one in every city I've lived in. There's always been that snow cone place, and it's always been popular.
Yeah.
So then, of course, just the way that my mind works, I guess, it's like, well, we could be that place.
Okay.
There's no reason why we can't have that snow cone place. So I think it maybe took about 6 hours, and I had researched snow cone places. I found a place to buy a truck. I called Shayne. I said, hey, we got to do this, man.
So why did you call it? I mean, so were you looking for a partner, or why did you reach out to Shayne versus another one of your buddies?
Yeah, well, I think that I knew that with us having full-time jobs, that it was going to be a bit too big of a project for me to take on by myself.
Okay.
So I think that I wanted to partner with Shayne because I knew I was going to need some help along the way.
Okay.
And partnering with Shayne is a no-brainer. I mean, exactly what he brings to the table is everything that I lack.
Right.
My mind is a little bit more analytical, not in an insulting way, but
That's fine.
I'm the same. I kind of side on Shayne's side. I'm kind of the same way as him.
More in terms of I know what I'm limited on in terms of marketing and creativity, where that's exactly what Shayne excels in. So
unless it's directional.
So you're seeing 3 failed snow cone places, right? And this is kind of, you've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. So within 6 hours, this is a new industry to you. The only thing you know about is like, look, I know about every city I've lived in. There's been a couple spots that the line has been tremendous.
And I would say it ends there. That's how much
That's the only thing you knew. So I mean, were you hesitant about this kind of jumping into it without knowing, I guess, the snow cone industry or even the mobile food? Because High Tide's baby is mobile.
Yeah.
We were a mobile food truck. We have all the permits and certifications from the city of Houston and the health department, and we are classified as a mobile food truck.
Which, don't get us started on that.
Don't even get me. I can't get you started. I don't want to get you started on that because I don't want to talk permits right now. Monday morning I'm not going to talk permits.
Yeah.
But without knowing, I guess, the industry and all that stuff, this is just one of those things. I guess, I mean, congratulations to you for not knowing the industry and just kind of jumping into it and just saying, you know what they did obviously didn't work, but I think I have an idea, I have a vision, and it's going to work.
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe I should have been a little bit more hesitant, but I was too excited.
Yeah.
I was too excited about the prospect of owning a fun business like a snow cone stand and the potential revenue that could bring in. And there was never really a doubt in my mind of whether or not we could make this successful. And, that could be a blessing or a curse depending on how you look at it.
Right.
But I don't think there was ever a point in time where we looked at each other and said, you know what? Like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Okay.
Or maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit.
Slow down a little bit.
I think that when we ran through it, and again, from an analytical standpoint at first, I mean, we ran the numbers. We looked at what it would cost to get it open. We did projections, a full business plan. And then once we had the confidence from an economic standpoint, we just went for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would venture to say that the most nervousness probably came from our significant others.
Really?
100%.
They definitely didn't believe.
Well, you need the buy-in at the home front.
And they bought in. They bought in once they saw how excited we were. Right. And the potential and just because when Seth called me, I'm not certain how bought in I was at first. Right. I mean, I just remember driving down the road when he called me, and I had a frustrating conversation about oil and gas with somebody. Things were shut down. We weren't able to get in front of people, and I remember being a little frustrated at that time, which a lot of people dealt with that, right? And so Seth called me, and he was like, let me come by and pitch you the business side of it tomorrow. Just think about it, dwell on it, all that. And, man, I got home, and it had kind of slipped my mind. I wasn't really focused on it, and just remember thinking like, all right, he's going to come over tomorrow and try to sell me on opening a snow cone stand.
Right.
Something that I've never thought of.
Are you an entrepreneurial, or are you just kind of, or not? Do you have that spirit at all, or
I think like in terms of that spirit, yes.
previous?
To the point of I'm a little more risk averse,
Yeah.
I would venture to say. However, I do love the creativity part of it, the aspect of, building a brand, right?
Yeah.
Like we were discussing, and kudos to you because
fun.
it's been a year now and your brand has grown, right? So, I mean, I think
Thank you.
I think that part of it is fun to me, watching the success of other people and being in the part of that success with Seth has been fun. But I just remember I was about to hop in the shower that night and just was thinking like, he's going to open a snow cone stand in the Heights and he wants me, to jump in this
Right.
thing with him. And then I thought to myself, Heights Ice Baby. And I just remember texting him, Heights Ice Baby. Like that's your snow cone stand. And at this point I hadn't even bought in yet, right?
Right.
Like I was just telling him like, if you go with this, I would run with that name because it touches on the Heights.
It's punny.
Yeah, it's punny.
So you like puns just like mine.
Love puns, and
Right.
the person who loves them just as much as us two is sitting to my right.
All right, I dig that. So, but what's cool about this? I mean, it sounds to me like it sounds to me like the main motivator. You mentioned it just now, Seth. You said I want to do something that's fun. I mean, it sounds to me like the revenue. Obviously, businesses are there to make money, but it seems like it's not going to be as much of a strain or as a hustle if it's fun.
I can tell you right now that we've never had a bad day in the snow cone stand. You can't give a smiling kid a snow cone, and he is so excited, or she is so excited to get a magical unicorn or a snowosaurus, and you see the joy on their faces, and you're going to be grumpy in a snow cone stand. It's just not going to work.
It's just not going to happen. You have the worst day. I'm sure that'll turn it around. So
Not to mention endless product for you can eat throughout the day. So there's another.
that's a good.
Pro,
That's,
right.
Shayne does make inventory management a nightmare for some of us.
what is it? You don't consume your supply.
You're not supposed to.
Not
but-
yeah. You don't.
But
you
when
don't
it's
give it your
that
supply.
good, when you got the best snow cone in Houston, you gotta try. You gotta
get
try
on
it out.
So this is okay. So Heights Ice Baby, you texted him this, and this is kind of what, beginning of May now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say that our first day in business was July 2nd, and that was a soft opening. So you've got to assume
Okay.
that all of really June is building out the trailer
Okay.
and getting our permits in line, establishing the LLC paperwork. I mean, it was
Was that a pain?
the LLC. No, the LLC and all that was really easy. The big hurdle to get over was getting all of the permits and getting certified with the city of Houston.
Well, local government, federal government, obviously very tedious to deal with.
And with
wheels
stuff
of-
being shut down, right? So again, like it made you couldn't just run by an office,
Right.
Similar to our jobs, you couldn't just run in there and say, "Hey, we're trying to get this going. Where's the paperwork? Let me fill this out."
So everything was kind of slowed down and delayed a little bit.
Yeah, so it was submit paperwork, wait for a week and a half to hear back. You've got to make this change, submit it again a week and a half later. So, as they say, the wheels of bureaucracy turn slow.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. So you got this idea, you got the stand, and this is so from end of April, I guess. So you kind of built this within a month. It sounds like before
Yeah.
the soft open. I mean, it's before you started operating in June.
I would say it took us probably 2 weeks to build out the trailer to get it to where it needed to be, and then probably another 3 weeks of just waiting once we got the trailer built of just the permits to come in.
Okay. All right. So tell me about, I remember, Shayne, I remember you talking about this. You were at the office, and I think we were sitting around having a beer or something like that, and we had a couple people over here, and you're like, guys, I got something for you. And it was like so slow. Industry was sucked. Dumpster fire. No one was seeing anything. And you brought this idea up, and you were so excited about it. And then you shot out the several ideas for the logo. Talk to me about the logo, guys, because I know there's a dog on the logo, and it's very clean, very crisp. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so I mean, Seth, when I texted him the name Heights Ice Baby, him and Sydney had been sitting around discussing names, and they were thinking Trevor Snow Cones, which Trevor's Seth's golden doodle.
Okay.
Right, year old, a little over a year old now.
7 years, dog, human year.
Yeah, 7. So perfect age for snow cones.
Still a puppy at the time.
Yeah. So
super
basically,
cute.
I told Seth, I was like, man, I mean, I love the aspect of having Trevor involved.
Right.
But I think we use his likeness as the logo, right? As literally as the mascot.
Yeah.
Because now you've got a puppy, which
Everyone loves a
plays
puppy.
plays to kiddos and to the people of the Heights. I would expect you see people walking their dogs everywhere.
yeah.
Golden doodles were on fire.
Dude, they're still on
know?
fire.
Yeah.
Any doodle is on fire right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you toss in heights, and we just kind of felt like it was the perfect kind of, mold into, hey, the area is going to know that we want to be entwined with it, right? And it's going to have a fun logo. And Seth and I just kind of kicked back some ideas. Here's what this looks like, and then he reached out to a sign company that kind of brought it all together for us.
Was it fun building that? I mean, was that the fun? I would assume that the creative side of things would be kind of the exciting thing, like just kind of creating that brand. I mean, how was that experience for y'all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first 2 to 3 weeks of any business is always the most exciting part to me. You're trying to figure things out. You're wondering, where's it going to go? What's this going to grow into? You've got to kind of keep that in the back of your mind and really figuring out, what do we want to represent as a brand? What do we want to represent as a business?
And what is that?
Well, I mean, I think that, first off, anything that Shayne and I stick our name on the side of, and we don't care if that's snow cones or what have you, we want to make sure that everybody knows that we're going to take product and service very seriously.
Right.
So with that, our brand and our logo, we want to convey we're family friendly, which brings in the dog.
Right.
We want to serve the Heights community. We want to be a fixture in the community. We want to be that snow cone place. So I think that including the name Heights in our logo conveyed that.
Kind of set y'all apart a little bit too, yeah.
I'd say so, yeah. And then even going into the design of the menu and all that. Well, do we want to be, do we want to wrap the entire trailer in this, tacky,
right, yeah.
90s themed snow cone and all that busy? No, like we want to convey that, hey, this is a clean, well-run establishment, so we're going to have a clean, crisp, easy-to-read menu.
Right.
So a lot of thought went into how do we design this and what things are we trying to convey to the customer. And, that part to me is fun because, you're thinking about all of these things and how you want to run your business. And it's fun for Shayne because Shayne's the expert on, okay, well, what do we do and how do we convey this?
Yeah.
Because, again, the marketing expert, that's his background. He was, pretty crucial in coming up with the design and all.
I appreciate that. But, I mean, that's the thing, right, is we talked on it. Brand awareness is huge.
Yeah.
Right? And especially in the directional space, it doesn't so much so lead to the creative side of that,
yeah.
right? But you still do need to try to figure out how you build your brand, what's important to you as a directional company.
What does that brand mean?
Yeah, what does that brand mean, right? Is it customer service, is reliability, all of that?
Yeah.
And so you just kind of take those business lessons and apply it to pretty much any other marketing aspect and kind of go from there. And with the pandemic, with the downturn, everybody shutting their doors and staying inside, more difficult to get a brand awareness out. Right. I mean,
it is. I mean, you're not beating the streets and talking to people or anything like that. I mean, you're literally inside your own house in front of the computer.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about. I mean, we're going on 9 months now, right? It feels like we've been had 6 seasons of snow cones, and we've been running this thing for a couple of years. But really, it's just how much fun we've been having.
It's not even a year old.
Yeah, it's not even a year old, right? And everything has been organic. The marketing, the brand awareness, the growth has been organic, and we've really relied on our customers to say, hey, it was a great snow cone. I'm going to take a picture with the logo.
We've done that. Yeah.
I'm going to do the Instagram post. I'm going to post on Facebook and just grow it that way. And I mean, in terms of the directional game versus that, it's quite different, right?
Right.
I mean, performance and reliability is key in directional. Customer service has been extremely fun and very key, similar to directional, but I mean, you're talking about a 15-second interaction with the snow cone, right?
Yeah.
And so from there, it's like, all right, that snow cone better taste good. Right, and you better be happy when you're handing it to them.
Well, and also, guys,
one bad interaction.
Another thing that you're not pointing on, probably because y'all do this so much, but also it looks good too. I told my daughter on the way to school this morning that I was having you two on all that stuff, and she was so excited. She wanted me to pitch the dinosaur fart, which is a gray snow cone with Swedish fish and nerds on it. So
we'll kick that over to the R&D department.
Okay, yeah, the R&D department. Well, guys, honestly, so Heights Ice Baby, I want to talk about the menu and the menu name. So were you a snow cone guru or connoisseur before this? Either one of you?
I think I had forgotten how, like, for as much as Seth had thought about snow cones in his young adulthood, I think I had forgotten about snow cones because obviously as a kid we ate snow cones at the ballpark. You got a ticket or you found a foul ball, you got to go turn in for a snow cone.
The snow cones back then sucked. There were those hard, they chipped.
Yeah, and we've got to be real clear here too, because there are people, especially from the Louisiana area, that are very passionate about their snow cones, and there is a very distinct difference between snow cones and shaved ice.
Okay.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're thinking the ballpark crushed ice that comes in the the cone style cups
That chip your teeth.
yes, that's not what we're going for here. We tend to kind of lean a little bit heavier on the Louisiana style snowballs, as they call them, and it's the big difference is the ice shaver, and it'll come out super fluffy and cold versus the crunchy ice.
Yeah, no, we've learned more about snow
Dude.
cones in 9 months than
There's so many layers to this, honestly, and I kind of want to talk about. So real quick, so the Louisiana style. I mean, you guys just introduced cream to y'all's menu, right? Like an add-on.
That's right, the New Orleans style.
That's a New Orleans style snow cone. You add some cream flavor to it, right?
That's it.
yeah. So basically, the way these flavors, the testing, all this came about. Seth built out the trailer, which I cannot give him enough credit for that.
Oh, it's clean.
Because again, that's not my mind. My mind doesn't. I would have been. I'll go buy a blender and plug it in at wherever we're serving these things. Yeah. And Seth's like, no, we need a generator, trailer, all those food safe things. So he built that out, and he said, hey, I got the trailer built out. Come look at it. So we go buy some blocks of ice. Because we do use the shaver, right? So you need a 10-pound block of ice. It's going to be slowly shaved so that the snow or the ice is fluffy.
Yeah.
All right. So then we start trialing some syrups. So Seth's ordering some different syrups from some different places. We eventually ended up making our own via concentrates and all that. But this is where I remembered, oh, snap, I really love snow cones.
It kind of came back.
Oh, man.
The nostalgia.
We hop in there, bring a 12-pack of White Claw or whatever, and, we're like, all right, let's just get this thing done. Let's start trying everything. And Seth's sitting there like, one spoonful. He's like, all right, that's all right, that's all right. And I'm sitting there like making half a snow cone, if not a full snow cone, for almost every damn syrup. So
Get sick to your stomach after every tasting.
The man has an iron stomach, and it is quite impressive to watch him work.
Yeah. So basically, we trialed all these things, and then as we're doing this, kind of start kicking around some ideas of different flavors, different punny names, different things that we want to kind of push out, right? And I remember, which hopefully they don't ever ask for any sort of kickback from the snow cones, because we'll owe them about probably 5 cents per cone. But we had a friend who's in the oil and gas industry, and his wife was heading back from their property and was like, hey, I've got the 2 little ones. Because I had texted him like, hey, we're getting this thing up and running. So swing on by and we'll let the kids try them and kind of see what they do. And she texted me back and was like, hey, have a dinosaur and a unicorn cone, because that's what, that's all they talk about right now. Right?
Well, unicorns have been big the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's all they're talking about. And so like I looked at Seth, we're on time crunch here. Like, all right, let's figure out like unicorn. Let's just do a pink, cotton candy snow cone, throw some nerds on there, and then shove some Lifesaver gummies on a spoon for the horn, and boom, unicorn snow cone, right? And dinosaur was similar. We're like, all right, how do we come up with dinosaur? Let's shove some Swedish fish across the top of the cone and make it look like a stegosaurus, and boom. So like it really was all off the cuff, just kind of trial by error, if you will.
Well, what's funny is I'm looking at your menu now, guys, and I think the first Trevor's favorites. This is, I guess, the house specialties. I mean, this is during COVID, and everyone. The one thing in America that got people through COVID, I feel like, or at least got their minds off of it when they weren't watching the news, the BS news, was Tiger King.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And so the first one y'all have is Snow Exotic.
Facts.
I dig it.
Yeah.
All right. And then you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rainbow, Cotton Candied, Double Bubble Gum, Vanilla Float, Shark Attack, Snowbie Bryant.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Astro Cone, very Houston local. I dig that. Stars and Stripes, Snowosaurus, and the Magical Unicorn. But also you guys have, I think, over 30, 40 different flavors, classic flavors over here, plus add-ons. But I love that. I love Snow Exotic. I mean, you're bringing kind of what's going on with, I guess, the current trends and all that stuff too. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And we'll see. I mean, if we're open in 10 years and anyone even remembers it, cool. But just baseline, Wedding Cake and Tiger's Blood with the Swedish fish is a delicious snow cone. Right?
Oh yeah.
And so when people ask us, you'll get a lot of like, what's popular, what's the favorite, and then it just goes to customer service, right? Like, we do know we've got delicious cones, so you can't really go wrong. But you want these guys to come back. You want to make a good product. You want to, do them right the first time through, so that they are repeat customers. And so those became key, right? The Shark Attack and the Snow Exotic are huge just because they taste delicious. If that might just be me.
Well, no, I mean, I think if you kind of go back to our plan in terms of marketing, we're going to rely heavily on the customer to push our product. Reposting on Instagram, following us on Instagram, referrals. If that's going to be your business strategy, then you better come correct with your snow cones. You better have a pretty good product. So I think steering our customers towards, what we think our best products are, and especially products that are, I think, aesthetically pleasing, that you can post pictures of them, that will, they will make them want to take a picture with the unicorn snow cone and their little girl.
It's kind of a trend thing to do. I mean, if you look at y'all's story, so anyway, you can find Heights Ice Baby. That's it. Just one word, no spaces, on Instagram. And so within 9 months, y'all have I remember when y'all started, y'all had like maybe 20 followers. Y'all have 110 followers right now, which is not bad, guys. It's not that good, because I've been doing this for over a year, this podcast, about a year and a couple months, and I only have under 500.
Oh,
so
man.
That's a flex right there. So not a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Flex it.
Yeah.
Flex it.
But I'm pushing BS. I'm pushing cones.
Well, maybe we'll have you host Around the Rotary at
that would be
Heights
fun.
Ice Baby.
That'd be fun. All those kids.
Yeah.
Like just yelling around. Yeah, I think we need a more controlled environment.
No way that goes wrong.
So guys, tell me about this. So y'all started it, and obviously it's Heights community, and what I love about that, you're not only are you y'all two are the owners, the co-founders of this, but you're also kind of you know the community because you live here. So y'all are kind of the consumer as well. How's the community response been to y'all? I guess being around here for 9 months.
Honestly, the community response has been amazing.
Really?
I mean, they were so quick to kind of take the brand and the business and accept it and make it part of the community. And what I mean by that is, whenever there's a school having an event, they would rather go with the local snow cone place than the more popular corporate ones,
right,
like Kona Ice or something like that. We're going to be out at the Timber Grove Sports Association, the weekends of.
Is that field off of TC Jester right there?
Yeah, the big Little League field off TC Jester. We're going to be there, the next 2 weekends over May 1st and 8th. When anytime there's a school event, anytime there's a Little League event, they always pick up the phone and call us first, and that means a lot to us.
Yeah,
because that's what we're going for as a business. We want to be established within the community, and I think that it's our responsibility to give back to the community that has been so great to us as well. So anytime that there is an opportunity like that, we try to help out the community as well. And I think it's it's a two-way street there.
Yeah, again, I mean, you have all these parallels in business, right? And so you look at the oil and gas industry, and ESG is popular, and the environment's gaining ground, and these.
It's always been here.
Yeah,
it's always been. That's the thing, though. It's that's nothing new in our industry, but
right.
It's people are talking about it right now.
Yeah,
more.
It's more visible than ever before.
More visible,
right?
Yeah.
But at the core, a lot of these organizations have always given back. Right, they're involved in different community projects, different food banks, whatever, and so you look at these business parallels and you say, okay, like from MS Directional standpoint, these are the things we're involved in golf tournaments and all that. Yeah. But we're ingrained with our customers. What's important to our customers is important to us as a directional company, and similar with our products. But when you take it to the snow cone stand, same situation. Like, we want to be ingrained in the community. Like, what's important? We want to sponsor Little League teams down the road as we start growing this, and really gain that community trust of like, all right, these guys are a staple, and they give back to the community, and that's important to us. I think that helps grow the awareness of the snow cone stand, but also it's just the right thing to do.
Well, also I think, so this podcast, lately we've been discussing we do such a poor job in our industry kind of explaining who we are as a community. You know what I mean? We're family people. We're community involved and all that stuff. I mean, we had David Reed here doing Red M, which is, what can we do as an industry to I guess, appeal to communities and kind of get out there outside of our bubble? And kind of being an industry advocate is something that I've kind of focused on, you know what I mean? And this, to me, the fact that y'all are giving to not just the community, but the families, to kids and all that stuff, and y'all are too, oil and gas, sales, directional, all that stuff, but the fact is y'all are opened up this snow cone stand in the community, you're present there, and you're getting people from every walk of life come up to y'all. Whether, I remember I was there the other week, and I bought that, the mail lady, a snow cone and all that stuff. So there's so many different backgrounds, all stuff, but y'all are there and y'all are at the forefront and being industry advocates, which I love, which is another thing that I want to bring y'all and discuss too, which is awesome.
Yeah, and there's we have a personal connection with a lot of our customers as well. We want them to know who we are, who's the people behind this business, and they know that we're oil and gas people.
Yeah.
And that's important to us as well, that they understand who the owners are.
Yeah, that was a conversation we got quite a bit, right? When everybody was opening back up and getting back at, going out and trying to do things, is a lot of people were like, hey, what's important to you? What's driving you to come out here and get out of the house? Is it your kids just needed a break, or you can't go see customers and all this? Because we did see a ton of people while we were opening this, like customers' kids,
Yeah.
like everybody. I mean, it was we were very visible. Like Seth and I worked this thing a lot on the weekends to the detriment a little bit of our relationships. Again, praise our significant others for giving us
You need that support.
giving us that support. And the conversations were always geared to, well, what do you guys do, right? And it's like, well, we're in oil and gas, but we're also now snow cone owners, and you find the Heights community in specific very heavily ingrained in the oil and gas community.
Yeah. So, no, look, this is a studio. Look, what you heard in the background is coughing. That just shows you how real world this podcast is, okay? This is not a fancy studio. This is just sitting around the table shooting the bull, all right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about the cough. It goes away.
Yeah,
It goes away.
Making sure this is a safe environment.
This is a safe environment.
We're very COVID averse,
I get it.
right? Mask, gloves is how we sell snow
Well,
cones.
yeah, y'all do, actually.
Yeah.
Y'all are very, So, okay, besides the cough. So getting back to the communities and all. So what's been some of the biggest, I guess, surprises, good and bad? Actually, before I do that question, do you think without the COVID and the lockdown and all that stuff, and so you don't like sitting still. Do you think without the lockdown and all that stuff, this would have been launched, or is it just kind of one of those things that you probably look back on and say, man, I should have done this?
I think that again, it would always be one of those things that I've had in the back of my mind, hey, what a fun business that would be, and one of these days I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would always been that attitude. I think that COVID presented the opportunity because, well, first off, I think all of us in the oil and gas industry, when the downturn hit, needed to take an inventory of what we had going on. Is there...
What do you mean what we had going on? Professionally or
Professionally?
personally?
Yeah, I would say professionally.
Okay.
So, do we have alternative, revenue streams?
Right.
Is am I going to have a job in 8 months? 6 months? Am I going to have a job next month?
Yep.
I can't answer that.
This
Depends on how productive you are.
yeah.
So,
you said on the podcast, I'd have a job in a month.
Yeah.
So I think, that was an aspect of it. Like, hey, there's always been a part of me that wants to have some additional revenue streams, wants to have a little side project. And, is this big career type money? No. But, is this something that, if successful, could help supplement your income? Yeah. And I think a lot of us kind of looked to something like that when the downturn hit. We all had a little bit more time on our hands, unfortunately, to maybe dive into some of the projects that were always, man, if I had the time one day, or if the opportunity ever presented itself. So I think that without COVID, there's no way that I think we would have got this off the ground. Now, would I would have preferred to have the oil and gas industry blowing and going to where we did not have this opportunity? Yeah, I think I would have took that. But I'm kind of happy in hindsight about how things turned out.
I hate being this way too. I mean, I can relate to that because this podcast wouldn't have started without COVID. I mean, everything that we've done, the memes and all that, the steak dinners and all that stuff, like everything that we've done differently and how we pivoted over here at CPC. I mean, it's because of COVID. I'm actually I hate saying this, like first off, I don't want anyone to lose their job, but I'm kind of fortunate for this kind of break where it allows you to follow your passion projects, or it allows you to develop new content or new brands such as Heights Ice Baby or whatever it is. I mean, it kind of gives you a break, like, okay, well, it kind of gives you a break from the normal hustle and bustle of things in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, and it ties everything back together, right? I mean, our customer base is family oriented.
Yeah.
Right? What have people had more time with than anything ever before over the last year? Their family.
Yeah.
Right? And so for us, like it all boiled back down to fun customer interaction, with a completely different clientele than our typical standard jobs, right? And just adapting on the fly, which I think a lot of oil and gas people have done over the last 12 months is, like to Seth's point, figuring out alternative revenue streams, planning ahead because, again, like you touched on, the oil and gas industry does at times have a bad a black mark, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So figuring out, okay, well, if that's the case, how do we change the perception? And I think little stuff like this and just being more visible to people that aren't in the industry has helped bring all that full circle.
I think what you guys are doing, I mean, a lot of people, when they're talking about being industry advocates or, touching communities and all that stuff, like, it's not these like huge,
BP Green.
Capital Green.
Yeah.
It's not these huge rollouts of these campaigns or marketing programs. To me, I think this probably hits more to the communities than those advertisements that what we do. You know what I mean? You guys are touching families and communities and children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing a positive impact to the community. It's 2020, you can't say that. But yeah, you're doing a positive impact to the community. I think that's probably more bang for your buck. And how much have y'all spent on marketing or advertising or anything like that?
So I think that's, again, what we're most proud of. We have spent $0 on marketing or advertising. All the growth that we've had has been organic, and it's been pushed by our own customer base.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So I guess where can we find? So where y'all located? I guess where can you find Heights Ice Baby?
So the majority of the days now, we're sitting at the corner of 23rd and North Durham,
right?
Like center of the Heights, and that's from a spot we leased up this season, right? So last season, props to Cavatori Italian on Ella. I cannot say enough about Federico and that team and him letting us come park in his parking lot when they weren't. They were basically doing to-go services, right? Yeah. And we worked a farmer's market with him, and he was like, by all means, like, come set up whenever you guys want. Like, there's plenty of parking. Just sling it right out of the parking lot because we're not having people come into the restaurant.
Right.
Flying Fish was another one that we could not have gotten off the ground without them giving us part of their parking lot, for free.
So again,
so literally we're trying to support the community, right? So that's where we kind of started. Now we've leased up a spot on 23rd and North Durham, right across from the Goddard School. Right down the street from.
It's a gravel parking lot on the right if you're going south.
Yeah, plenty of parking. Right, a couple houses down from Wright Bembry Park, and the other Goddard School, and then we bounce around. I mean, that's the fun part for us is the mobile aspect of it. We work the Esplanade and the Heights off of Euclid and North Hill.
I see pictures when they post. It seems like a great crowd. Everyone just sitting down, enjoying their snow cones, families, and all that stuff. I always see pictures of the Esplanade. I haven't hit that location yet.
And again, that spot goes out to Cameron Yasel.
Yeah.
Whose husband's in oil and gas. Yep. She had come by with the kiddo and tried it and was like, hey, we would love to have you guys out on like a late Thursday afternoon. And then she got us tied in with the little HOA over there, and we've been there since. So again, it's all been organic, but it's all for the most part within the Heights. And then we reach out to Briar Grove last summer a little bit, worked out there for those guys, and I'd venture to say we try to stay in probably a 20-25 mile radius.
So also, I mean, Saturdays, I mean, recently, obviously, I'm not, this probably released in May, but Saturdays, I mean, our family just moved up to 24th and Ella, which is a block away from Cavatori's, and the first Saturday we were there, when we had Evelyn, we walked down and saw y'all, and that's kind of spurned this whole thing. Obviously, Evelyn was pumped. She wanted that before she wanted her breakfast.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Thanks, guys. Which I get.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, so Saturdays, are y'all there? Is that a kind of a permanent thing for the summer at that farmer's market off of 23rd and Ella?
I would say that it's fluid because Saturday mornings are very popular for the private events. We book a lot of private events.
Oh, so y'all do private events too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of birthday parties, a lot of HOA events, a lot of private events. So Saturday mornings are really fluid for us, as well as Sundays. So I would say the best way to find us is just follow us on the Instagram page. We post our locations and our hours of operation every day.
Okay. And so I also see you have a Facebook page too.
Yes, and we post on Facebook as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing we've learned, like, Instagram, if we're discussing social media, has been way more productive than Facebook is. Basically, we start our fan page or our business page, and you can tell that Facebook's after the money. Yeah. Because it's not promoted as much. It literally is about the money for those guys. So again, like, our followers reposting and commenting and all of that has basically been our marketing organic growth. And I can't say enough about the customers that have come by, like, supporting us, right? Because obviously, like, not everyone in the Heights got through all this with their job, like we discussed earlier. And so to have the community kind of support us back as we started this endeavor has been huge. So
what's been some of the biggest surprises, good and bad? I guess starting your own company and starting a mobile food trucks, snow cone business.
Big one for me, and it's not to be unexpected, but the time restraints of
is it more time
evenings and weekends, which I think we knew when we started this thing that was going to be the case, right? And we've had some great help from friends and employees that have been part-timers and full-timers, and so it's been fantastic. But I think that merging with our schedules opening back up and oil and gas kind of coming back, that's probably been a hurdle that we knew was going to happen. We just didn't know how fast, right? And how quick's the industry going to bounce back? How quickly is our schedule going to get back to being predicated on being able to go see people and do all that? And so finding employees, that's been a focus for us over the last 9 months.
How's that been?
It's been good. I mean, we've had friends step in and work shifts. We've had family or significant others step in and work shifts. Like, it really has been kind of just a team effort getting this thing off the ground, and it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, if you're looking for people to work, that means people want to come by and
people want the product.
People want the product.
Yeah.
So that to me has been the biggest hurdle. The fun part, like Seth touched on at the beginning, has just been the smiles, like the fun. Like, I haven't had a kid come back and hit me for a concession or try to negotiate down on our snow cone pricing. And so from a standardized, like, hey, this is our day in, day out job with, oil and gas and directional, and things get heated and we all kind of forget sometimes, like, hey, we're all human. This is the exact opposite. This is a 15-second interaction where we're making a kid's day. They're excited, we're excited, and it's, it's just so much fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I would say the hardest part for me has been kind of letting go a little bit.
What do you mean?
Employees. I mean, you've taken, months to build your brand and ensure your product, and you're there, making sure that every snow cone that goes out the window is up to your standards, and trusting somebody to hold your products up to the same level that you expect them to be at has been tough. So it's been tough, but it's been easy once we started reaching out to people that were already fans.
Okay.
So this year we've got several part-time employees that applied to work for us via our Instagram page because they were already fans of Heights Ice Baby and they were already customers. So it's been a lot easier this year to have those people buy into what we're doing and buy into the service and buy into the product standards because they get it. And the transition this year in getting our employees trained and up to, where we think they should be to be able to run the place when we're not there, I think it's been a lot easier transition this year because they already were bought into the brand before we even brought them in as employees.
And you need that trust, though, I'd imagine, because, I mean, when things are picking up, which they kind of are, and it's only going to, I kind of feel like, I mean, we're hopelessly optimistic right now in the oil and gas industry. So when things pick up, you do need to leave that control and that trust in the employees to run it because y'all are going to be busy doing your full-time jobs.
Yeah, weekend events with oil and gas or dinners with people, like those take precedent, right? And that's one thing we agreed upon when we got into this. Oil and gas will always take precedent over the stand, and that's the benefit of owning it is we can shut her down or not have her out for a day or a week or however long we want. Now, obviously, there's financial burden to that, but we can prioritize our actual jobs, which, again, I think helps us both being involved in that in oil and gas. We both understand, hey, this is what's key and important, but this is also fun and important to us, right? We don't want it to fail. Like Seth said, he is somewhat of a syrup Nazi at times in terms of what the cones look like, but would we be as successful without that? I don't think so.
That's the product, though.
Yeah.
That's the product, though. You need that. So can y'all discuss, you don't have to right now because there's competition listening out there.
The secret sauce?
What's going on? No, not the secret sauce. What's the future of a Heights Ice Baby? Are you looking at brick and mortar, getting potentially another future, or are you just going to keep it simple for the short term?
We need to find a stream of high school seniors that can pull a trailer and want to work all summer. That's what we need to find. That's the thing, right? I mean, we're in the Heights. There's not a lot of high schools around here,
right? Versus
like a small town that Seth grew up in. So our personnel side is a little more difficult, but we have somewhat found ourselves in a accidental snow cone off, if you will, with some competitive snow cones around the area.
It's a snow cone turf war.
Kind of, yeah.
It's kind of like the Sopranos, but for like snow cones.
And Seth don't play with that stuff, man. I've learned that about him. You don't, this is our baby, and he takes that.
Well, the fact that he came in this morning and starts using the word turf, you know what I mean? That's when you know it's like real stuff. This is like the underground snow cone industry that you don't hear about when you order.
Yeah, you don't hear about.
Well, let's just say that I welcome all challengers to the product and the service that we offer.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think that in the end, the customers will choose the product that they prefer, and we'll accept those outcomes because I feel confident in our product.
Okay, I dig that. But are we sticking with the food truck, brick and mortar? Is that too risky?
Well, I think that there's a lot of unanswered questions right now. Our first season, our first day in business, our soft opening was July 2nd. So all of July was us kind of ramping up. So when you look at the end of the season coming in late September, we really had about 2.5 strong months in business.
Yeah.
Not that July wasn't perfect snow cone weather. It's just it took some time to get word of mouth out there. It took some time to get our business established and for us to be firing on all cylinders.
And plus, people are uncomfortable leaving the house in July.
That's right, yeah. And so I think this year, after we have an entire season under our belt and we really have a better idea of what our overall revenue and business model will look like moving forward, I think we can start answering those questions of what direction we want to take the business moving forward. But for now, I'd say all options are on the table.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I'm right there with him.
So is there anything else you guys want to bring up right now regarding High Size Baby?
No, I think we kind of covered it. I think, we've been told over the last 9 months to stop talking about snow cones so much, so I don't want to take up any more time than we already have.
No, I like this, though.
Again, I thank you for having us on.
Thank y'all.
To discuss an outside business outside of oil and gas, giving back to the community, because again, I think it all boils back down to brand awareness and what we're trying to do to adapt in this market. So I really appreciate you having us on.
Well, first off, thank y'all for doing this. I mean, honestly, I know it's a passion project and it's something y'all really enjoy. It's fun for y'all, which sounds fun naming the snow cones with Shayne with a 12-pack of White Claw Mango, but which is good, by the way. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, like, thank y'all. I mean, as an industry, the fact that y'all are getting out there to the communities and all that stuff and putting smiles on kids' face and reaching families. So thank y'all. Again, everyone, this is Shayne Schurr and Seth Hill with first off, MS Directional.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I doubt Pie's still listening at this point.
I think... Yeah, probably not. We probably tuned it off to make sure that y'all weren't doing this Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5. But
as soon as
someone at Patterson's gonna get a transcript just to make sure the verbiage didn't get anybody in legal trouble.
I think it sounds great. But guys, I want to thank y'all for coming on. And again, check them out on Instagram. Give them a follow. Swing by their place, and you can find it wherever they're at. Again, they update their locations pretty much every day where they're going to be at.
Every day on Instagram. Go by, take a pic. I've swung by solo without Evelyn before, and give them a like, give them a follow, reach out to them. They do private events, and I think we're going to have an event at the office where High Size Baby's going to be at, and I look forward to seeing y'all this summer with the family or solo, and and we hope we're going to be at more industry events this year as well.
So y'all just do, okay. So I like that. So wait, are y'all talking about like coming to industry events as well?
Yeah, we did. We've done golf tournaments in the industry.
Yeah, we did the AD golf tournament last year.
Offer some boozy snow cones under the right conditions.
So y'all do adult snow cones?
Only if it's a private event.
Private events, only.
Right? And we don't have a liquor license, so we definitely gear ourselves towards telling the people that have us out, hey, by all means, this pairs well with this snow cone.
Gotcha.
Wink, wink. Right?
Wink, wink. That's like back in the Prohibition, they used to sell like bags of like yeast and like do not put this in a dark closet, otherwise it will.
You would know.
It will be alcohol.
You would know more about that. I'm not that old.
Well,
your hair might look better than mine, but.
Well, you know what? I didn't want that to wrap this up, but as it is the week of my birthday, I'm going to be 41. Jesus. Anyway, guys.
Oh, man.
I know, fellas.
You're like a page over 25.
Oh, stop. I know I don't act over 21, but all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all coming in. I wish y'all the best, and thank y'all for what y'all are doing. And again, everyone, check them out. Check with them on LinkedIn if you have any directional questions, or shoot them a note on Instagram if you have any snow cone questions. And guys, thanks a lot. I wish you all the best, and we'll talk soon. Wait, I'm going to peel out with the... I'm going to peel out.
I'll peel it. Appreciate it.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's kick it.